Joe Biggerstaff, Senior Vice President Engineering at Harper Industries. I joined the club as a freshman. In 2002 was the first competition I went to. I was on the junior team in 2002, and then the 03 team I was actually the captain of the junior team. And then I was with the senior team in 4, 5, and then 6.
So, Joe, as you were going through your presentation and stuff, I was wondering if you had a highlighted memory that you remember from either competition or working on the tractor that really stuck with you throughout time.
So I have one. It was my first year in the spring of 02. We had the Twinkie tractor as the X-Team tractor. And during the practice ball, we broke one of the gears off the shaft. And we thought we were done. We had a guy named G.L. Slaughter, and he was a very good TIG welder. And I'll never forget Dr. Soley, who's like an engineering god in my mind as a freshman. He literally walked over to a building, ripped a piece of tin outside the building, and he used it to shim the gear while he tigged it on. It actually worked and got us to the competition. I thought, here I am, high class engineering, and Dr. Soley, who's got his JD and his PhD engineering, is ripping a piece of tin off to fix the tractor. I'll never forget that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this last competition, we kind of went with electromechanical design. So basically an engine going into electric generators, going into an electric motor. And the issue that we were having was that we were having codes being thrown on our electric motor because our engine wasn't running smooth enough. And the value of Dr. Long, who is our club advisor now, just his insight into the situation, it has taught me a lot, and a lot of stuff that I can carry on throughout my time here at OSU.
And it was a great experience because it's hands-on, and we got to basically use some of the principles we learned in our classwork to apply to the real world. One of the things I really liked about the competition is it wasn't just about the design. You had to do a cost report. You had to meet a certain weight. Like, they had targets that really aren't that much different than the targets we have in industry. I mean, in industry, you've got to obviously sell a product that makes money. You've got cost targets, weight targets, federal regulations you have to meet. I like how the competition kind of has all those requirements, because I think that preps you for the real world, because those same requirements exist in industry. So it's a good preparation for what you'll see when you get out of school.
Talk a little bit more about the ripple effect that a club like Cowboy Motorsports had on your professional career. Because you talked about that a little bit on the other interview, but I think it's valuable, maybe specifically when you were going to interview for companies right out of college.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those talking points that I had. So when I entered industry, go through the interview process. After I got hired on, I would get feedback that my experience at Cowboy Motorsports did impress them. And actually, one of my jobs at AGCO, one of the guys that interviewed me remembered me because he was a judge of the competition. He remembers me from that. And it really is kind of a small world when you think about it. And my boss at AGCO was on the tractor team at K-State. So I think just that networking, people knowing, like people who've lived through that and done that competition, it just gives you a leg up when you go get hired.
That's really awesome. I noticed that too when I went to competition. Is you were able to connect with industry professionals, not even on a professional level, but more so like on a personal level. They wanted to get to know you, and we talk a lot in the college agriculture of like being a part of the Ferguson family. And here at OSU, the faculty members and the staff really try to put you out there in front of companies. And Cowboy Motorsports is a great way to do that.
The competition was great. Back then it was in East Moline, Illinois area, and get to meet some other team members from other universities was neat. I even actually worked with some of those guys later in my career, so I had that connection with them. And it was one of those things that kind of sets you apart. Like I talked earlier, whenever you're interviewing, it was something you could talk about that sets you apart from the other people interviewing. And it's definitely something that definitely helped my career. Right? Go Pokes, right?